All right, let's jump right in. What if I told you that your daily gym session, the one you work so hard for, might not be enough? That it might not be protecting you from the dangers of a mostly sedentary life? I know, it sounds a little crazy, but it turns out there's a different kind of movement that is way more important for our long-term health, and most of us, well, we barely even think about it. So let me ask you this. Can 1 hour of solid exercise actually be canceled out by, say, 10 hours of sitting? It's a pretty wild question, right? But the research points to a really surprising and honestly kind of uncomfortable answer. And that answer is yes, it absolutely can. It seems that what you do in the other 23 hours of the day can actually matter more than that single intense workout. Okay, so let's imagine two people. On one side, you have your dedicated gym goer. They hit it hard every single morning, but then they sit at a desk for the rest of the day. And on the other side, you've got someone who, well, they never step foot in a gym, but their life is just constant low-level motion, walking, doing chores, just always on their feet. So, who's metabolically healthier? Who's likely to live longer? You might be surprised. The science is really clear. It's the person on the right. Now, I get it. That might feel totally backwards. So let's get into the why. Because your body, it doesn't just check a box after your morning workout and give you a free pass for the day. No, what it really pays attention to are those long, unbroken stretches of just stillness. And that stillness, it's a huge problem. We're talking about large-scale studies showing that if you sit for more than 8 hours a day, your risk of premature death goes up significantly. But here's the real kicker. That risk stays high even if you're a regular exerciser. That 1 hour at the gym just can't undo all those hours of sitting. So, what is actually going on inside your body when you're just sitting there? Well, on a cellular level, your biggest metabolic engines, your muscles, they basically just go dormant. They just completely switch off. And that one simple act of switching off, it starts this whole negative chain reaction. The enzymes that are responsible for burning fat, they just plummet. Your blood sugar starts to rise because your muscles aren't there to soak up the glucose from your blood. Blood flow slows way down, and all these inflammatory markers in your body start to creep up. And over time, that is what leads to chronic diseases like heart disease and type 2 diabetes. Here's a perfect way to think about it. You wouldn't brush your teeth for 30 minutes just once a week and expect to have healthy gums, right? Of course not. Your body is the same way. It's designed for consistent, regular movement throughout the day, not just one big, concentrated dose. Okay, so if sitting is the villain in this story, who's the hero? Well, it's not necessarily about adding another hour at the gym. The real solution is something that scientists call NEAT. Now, NEAT stands for Non-Exercise Activity Thermogenesis. I know, it's a bit of a mouthful, but it's really just a fancy term for all the energy you burn doing, well, everything that isn't sleeping, eating, or a formal workout. It's the energy you use just living your life. And this is where it gets so beautifully simple. Meat is walking to your car. It's doing the dishes. It's standing up when you take a phone call instead of sitting. It's taking the stairs. Get this, even fidgeting counts. All these tiny little movements we do without thinking, they add up to something huge. And the effect on your metabolism, it's profound. This kind of constant, low-level movement keeps your metabolic engine humming all day long. Those fat-burning enzymes stay fired up, your muscles keep pulling sugar out of your blood vessels stay healthy and flexible. It's literally the perfect antidote to the damage of sitting. And if you want proof, you don't have to look very far. Researchers who study the blue zones, these incredible places where people regularly live active lives past 100, they found something really fascinating. See, in these communities, people don't work out. It's not a thing. They don't have gym memberships or training schedules. For them, movement isn't some separate event they have to schedule. It's just woven into the very fabric of their daily lives. They're out in their gardens, which means lots of bending and squatting. They walk everywhere, to the store, to visit friends, often up and down hills. They do a lot of their household chores by hand instead of using machines. Their whole environment is basically designed to encourage constant natural movement. So the big question is, how can we bring some of that into our modern lives, where so many of us feel chained to a desk? Well, the good news is, it's a lot simpler than you probably think. Let's talk about building your own daily movement plan. You don't have to overhaul your entire life tomorrow. Just start with small, simple habits. A quick 10-minute walk after every meal. That does wonders for your blood sugar. Standing up for all your phone calls? That adds up fast. Taking the stairs instead of the elevator? That's a classic for a reason. Or here's a really easy one. Set an alarm on your phone to just get up and move around for 2 minutes every half hour. It's that simple. And if you look at the data on step counts, it gives us a really clear goal. As daily steps go up from just 2,000 to about 7,000, the risk of mortality just plummets. The biggest bang for your buck comes from simply not being in that very low activity zone. You don't have to be a marathoner, you just need to be a consistent walker.
So really, when you boil it all down, this isn't about a new workout plan. It's about a fundamental shift in how we think about what it means to be active and healthy.
The old way of thinking, it focuses on intensity. It says, I need to exercise more. But the new mindset, the one that's really key for a long and healthy life, focuses on frequency. It says, I need to move more often. And while exercise is great for our overall health and longevity, the research is pretty clear, frequency wins. So the secret to a long, healthy life, it's not about becoming some elite athlete. It's much simpler. It's about being still less. It's about building all those little movements back into the fabric of your day. And the best part is, you can start right now without any fancy equipment or a huge time commitment. So the only question left is, what's your next move?